NOOKIE'S diary. When we arrived at the starting point of the trek, we started walking up the slightly steep stairs. With the hot weather, Patty and I stopped washing our faces very often. Luckily, at the beginning of the trek, there was a waterfall to help us cool off. The first part of the trail is not very difficult, but our only obstacle was the hot weather and lack of wind. But as I said, the water from the waterfalls along the way will be able to help us keep going. The hiking route up to Phu Soi Dao is 6.5 kilometers long and requires us to walk through 5 hills. And when you reach the first point called See Off Relatives Hill, which means if you feel like you can't continue walking, walk down from this point and see off other people.
พัดมองหาใครอ่ะ
สงสารสายป่าน
ทำไมอ่ะ
สายป่านไม่รู้อยู่ไหน
จริงเหรอ
สายป่าน
ไปละจะคงจะมองไปหมดแล้วเนาะ
After the Seeing Off Relatives Hill, it started to get more windy. There is no waterfall on the way anymore. Therefore, we should prepare enough water. By the way, the obstacles were just beginning. I felt pain in the thigh muscle of my right leg. I am not sure why. Maybe it is because the trail is really steep, but I forced myself to continue walking. Luckily, we met the forest officials here who were surveying the forest. And this is my greatest luck, because they helped me by giving me leg massage oil and carrying my bag. They are really kind. The last hill that we had to climb is called Death Hill because it had a slope of almost 9 degrees with a distance of 1.5 kilometers. When I was looking up, I felt that it very difficult for me to walk up. Anyway, I was not afraid to walk up because the forest officers walked with us, but another obstacle was we faced the heavy rain with the very steep trail. It increased the difficulty of the hike for Patty and me. We felt really bad for the forest officials as they had to help us. In fact, they can walk up in a short amount of time. But because of us, we made them take more time than usual. When we passed the Hill of Death, the rain stopped and we saw the light of the sun, which is the light that is like we have completed our journey. It is really beautiful than I can describe in words. When we saw the Phu Soi Dao Conqueror sign, we were very happy because it means we could overcome every obstacle along the trail we faced. But our story isn't over yet. Let's see what happened next. When we had arrived at the tent site, we spent a lot of time in the forest ranger camp because we felt like here was our safe zone. And Patty did not feel so well because of the rain, but she could still make a Thai joke. How funny and cute she is.
อันอยู่ไหนอ่ะ
Me and Patty felt so close to the forest officers here after our walking together for many hours. So we asked them to go into their camp to cook and have dinner and all meals together. They definitely allowed us to come in their camp. Even this camp was actually for the forest ranger only. It was a very wonderful experience. We felt the friendliness and kindness of the forest officials here. How can we forget them? You know what I mean. after we spent 2 days here. The next day we walked down with all the officials because it was the day they had to go down and the other group of officials was about to walk up and take their place. The trail that staffs walk up and down is not the same trail as tourists walk, and it is in the land of Laos. The reason why we had to walk down with all the staff was because my sore thigh still hadn't healed, and Patty was feeling sick from walking in the rain. There was one section of the route where we had to use ropes to climb down the mountain. But with the great care of all the staffs, we were able to climb down. Patty and I wondered when they had to carry construction equipment up to the tent site. How can they do that? It must be very difficult for sure. It took us not more than 2 hours to walk down to the resting camp. This is where the officers will wait for a pickup truck to pick them up or drop them off to walk up to the tent site. When the pickup truck arrived, Patty and I saw that it wasn't just the other group of officers who were coming up to take over from the previous group. We also saw a lot of construction equipment that had to be carried up to build and renovate the tent site to make it more comfortable for tourists. I could feel their determination and dedication to their work. With not so much salary, how hard they need to work. Finally, it was time for us to take the 30-year-old pickup truck down to the place where we started the trek. Patty and I wouldn't call it as a road, but it was like a waterfall that water had dried up. The driver told us, "For anyone who is good at driving on off-road, come here and try." It's a shame that I wasn't able to take videos of the entire route, because we had to try to hold anything in the pickup truck to protect our heads and bodies got hit and injured. We were very impressed by this experience. It was so awesome. Apart from the beauty of nature and a lot of obstacles that we faced together, what more important for us is the unforgettable memories between us and the forest officials, especially Brother Dieng, who had never left the two of us even for a single step and helped us without expecting anything in return. The other person who we have never forgotten is Brother Samarath, who drank some drinks that harmed his health almost all the time. Anyway, he took the best care of both of us all the way up and down. But recently we heard the worst news about him. He has left us to travel to heaven. We will never forget him. He will always be in our hearts. Rest in peace, my beloved brother.